And good Thursday morning to everyone.
Yes, it is Thursday.
My name is Kelly Knapp,
And I'm Lee Barrows.
and I hope everyone's had a good morning so far. Some people are just waking up, some have been up for a little while, and some may have not even gone to bed yet.
That's absolutely true.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah, a lot of these people working night shifts.
mm-hmm.
I used to have to work night shifts in the past. And I enjoyed working at night.
Mm-hmm.
It's quiet, not many people out.
Yeah, and then if the people that are out, sometimes you see some interesting things.
Yes, you do.
So the sky was interesting this morning. It was red.
Yes.
I took a
I don't
picture of
know.
it
It makes
actually.
me think of October.
Mm-hmm.
October, you see a
Yeah.
lot of that.
Yes, you do. Yeah, it was very pretty. But
Yeah.
yeah, what is it? Red sky at night, sailor
Fisherman's
take Blake,
Delight,
red sky at morning.
Sailor's Delight.
Yeah,
What is that? Raver, do we know?
red sky at morning. Something about a warning. Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't fish. So
Yeah. Hey, we've got a public service announcement. We want to go ahead and get out to those that live off of the Gum Branch, Ramsey Road, and Maynard Boulevard area. This is from Onwassa. A disruption in water has been scheduled for the area's Gum Branch Road, Ramsey Road to Maynard Boulevard to include all side roads in subdivisions. This will be occurring on August 24th between the hours of 11 p.m., which was last night, to 6 a.m. this morning to relocate the water main. Once water pressure is restored, a precautionary boil water advisory will be issued until further notice. This will be issued only as a precaution. Once the work is completed and the water is restored, it will be recommended for effective customers to boil all water intended for consumption for at least 1 minute. It will not be necessary to boil water used for bathing. Also, Water and Sewer Authority will notify customers once the advisory is lifted, which is usually 24 to 48 hours after the water is restored. If for any reason the outage would need to extend beyond the estimated end time, customers will receive an additional notification. And to contact Onwassa through their website, please visit www.onwassa.com, or you may call them at 455-0722. So, a bull water advisory for those up in the Raintree, Maynard Boulevard, Ramsey Road, Gum Branch area once the water is restored. So, I'm sure you'll be notified by Onwassa, but just a heads up on it in case you're just getting up and getting ready to make your morning coffee.
okay, yeah, might want to. Yeah, definitely might want to boil your
Now, see,
water.
it was just last week they had a
Mhm.
water outage there, didn't they?
No, it was Maysville
That's right. And
because
and it was over, I think, a broken water line.
the construction cut
Right.
something. That happens a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of
So
news this morning
there's a
coming
whole lot of
out.
news. Yes. Um,
Yes, I mean
some good, not so
yeah,
good. Um,
the Uvalde School Board fires police chief after the mass shooting that happened.
a personal opinion that should have been done
Did
within 2 weeks. I
yes.
originally said immediately, but I'm like, okay, let's give them a little due process. But once
Right.
things started coming out, that should have been done. And the
Yes.
families are cheering it, which absolutely.
Oh, there was a
I,
school board meeting last
yeah.
night. They were actually standing up and cheering over
Hmm.
it, and I
Hmm.
was like, "Well, you go."
Well, I don't understand why it took as long as it did, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I
who am
know.
I to
Once
figure that
again,
out? Yeah.
that was such a tragic
Hmm.
situation, and they funny and good luck with trying to find another job,
Oh,
bud.
dude, you might want to just switch
Maybe
careers.
come to Onslow
Yeah.
County, be a school bus driver.
Yeah, we need those.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
do.
do. Yep. I did see an actual good story because
Oh,
there's not a lot of
good.
those around. I'm gonna be honest. And once again, it goes back to these polls, which you never get. But anyway,
Right.
so apparently in North Carolina, they did a poll of the best burger.
Oh, do tell.
Would you believe that an old gas station in Carolina Beach ranked the Island Burgers and Bites? I guess it used to be a gas station. Maybe it still is. I don't know. It ranks as the state's number one place for a hamburger.
Really?
Uh huh. Um,
Hmm.
and the reviews were between January 1 and January 15th. And people rave about eating juicy patties, those with cheese, bacon, other topics. And once some people are like, I'm not going to eat a gas station thing. And then somebody wrote, it was such a good find. Inside a gas station, don't judge the book. So it is inside. It's inside of Sunoco off of Highway 421 in Carolina Beach. There's no place to eat outside. There's a patio outside, and people also get their food to go. And they talk.
That's
Apparently, it's
interesting.
gotten it before as a hidden gem in from the Wilmington Star News. Um, And I don't know that the pumps work now, but whatever. But it also has fries, hot dogs, cheesesteaks, and chicken. But
And what was the name of this
it
place?
is called Island. Let me get it right.
Island.
Island Burgers and Bites.
Okay.
It's at 111 Carl Winter Drive Street in Carolina Beach.
Well, the next time I go that way, I'll definitely
You have to go test it out
check
because
it out.
these people are talking about how amazing the burgers are. The patties are very juicy. You get all these crazy toppings. Yeah. And readers ranked places all throughout the state, and it came out as number 1. And then another place in Carolina Beach in May was voted one of the country's top place to get donuts. The Brits Donut Shop. I never heard of that place either.
Now, Commissioner Price
Mhm.
once told us about a donut shop right there
Mhm.
in Wilmington, or it was around that area, and he just raved about it. I
Mhm.
can't remember what the name of it. I'll have to ask him if that's the same place.
Mhm.
And he said the donuts were the best.
Well,
I
I'm just
definitely
yeah,
have
we
to
have to
check
go
it.
try this Carolina Beach
Right.
burger place out.
Hey, you were saying
Yeah.
earlier 2 Marines that damaged
Lord,
the
yes. Now they have made national headline. They were on the
national
national
headlines.
news.
Right.
Embarrassing. I like it when North Carolina gets put on the news for good stuff, but not a bunch of two morons.
2 young
Yeah,
Marines that damaged the
Nope,
helicopter over
they
at the
sure
Havelock
did.
Tourist Center.
They made it.
Yeah.
Made the news.
I just can't believe
yeah.
they were dumb enough to think they
Mhm.
could get away with that. I mean, there's
I
video
think they
cameras
had
out
to have
there.
been drunk. Well, you know what else? That mayor is also made national news.
Oh, the
for that
one
tearing down
in
that monument.
Enfield, North Carolina?
Yep, they're tearing down the monument.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. I understand that.
And I think we've got somebody on.
Oh,
Are you there,
yeah.
sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Well,
That's
are you?
right. It was Brit's Donuts.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. Brits Donuts is absolutely the bomb.
Is it?
Oh.
Have you tried that burger place?
Never been to the burger place, but I'll stop by the next time I'm there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We
That-
need a
I-
report.
Yeah, that hasn't been there too long, probably.
Well,
I
it made
know
it.
of anyway.
Yeah, it was like best in the country. So
Mm.
yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
I'll
though.
give it a whirl.
Yeah, you'll test it out and let us know how it is.
But Brits, we used to go by this on the boardwalk in Carolina Beach.
Yeah.
That's right. That
okay.
is the one that Mark Price was telling us about
Okay.
one morning.
You can smell those donuts cooking from the minute you step anywhere on that boardwalk.
yes.
And you go in there and get a cup of cold milk. Their milk is the
Ooh.
coldest in the world, just shy of being ice cream.
Wow.
And the donuts, forget about taking them home. They have no preservatives in them. You got to eat them all there. And I can eat a half dozen right there. Seriously, without
Oh,
getting
wow. So good variety too?
I don't know. I just get the glazed. I don't
I
need
know
anything
glazed
else.
are.
You don't need anything else.
That's
Glaze
the
is the
absolute
best.
Glaze is
Yes,
Yeah.
good.
those are the
Yeah.
absolute favorite.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're so hot. Well, see, you get them when they're hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
cook them right in front of you.
And they just like melt in your
Oh,
mouth.
I love warm
They do.
donuts. Yes.
And then when you pick them up in your hand, it curls over like a piece of
Woo-hoo.
sliced pizza.
Like it's meant to be there.
Yes, sir.
Oh my
Mm.
goodness. Now, see, Rayford, you're making me hungry.
Jump into my belly.
Yeah, because that just sounds so amazing.
It
That's
does
what I'm
sound good.
So, how things down there? Good.
Yeah, diving's still good. And,
Yes.
Good.
got a chance to post up a few other pictures
Oh, good.
Okay.
yesterday on Facebook. Not diving, but some other stuff around the area.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that'll be nice to see because
Yeah, I haven't
mainly
looked,
what we see is under the water.
Yeah, I wasn't on
Yeah.
Facebook.
I'd love to
at all
see what the
yesterday.
island looks like.
I put it up last night, so there's
Okay,
about half dozen
good.
or so.
All right, we'll definitely check it out. Nice.
And about 500 other people have already checked it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you put it on YouTube?
No.
No,
It's on
still pictures
Facebook.
don't do very well on YouTube. I haven't been able to master that yet.
Oh, okay. That's right.
No, it's
What was
right
I
on here.
thinking?
I see him.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm looking
wow.
right now.
Oh my.
Oh, nice. Oh, look at the.
You got the
oh,
flamingos. Oh, these pictures are
Oh,
really.
those
Oh
are
my goodness! I was
gorgeous.
hoping you would do the donkeys. They are on there. Yay!
Couple of
Those are
Democrats under a shade
nice.
tree.
Oh, there's. Oh, they come right up to the car. Oh, how
Look
cute!
at the donkeys.
Oh,
They stick their nose in the
Mhm.
car.
Now we need to
They
print
want a
that one out for
treat.
Tim.
they want a treat.
That's not. They're so
Yeah.
cute.
Oh, good. How's
Oh,
the
look at the
weather?
one coming in the car
It's-
window.
It's the same as it always is.
Okay.
You know,
Still
a lot-
wonderful
light
and
breeze
amazing.
blowing,
Yeah.
sunny.
hmm
Highs around 89 or 90,
Mhm.
lows about 78.
Oh, my, that's good.
Beautiful,
Mhm.
beautiful weather. Oh,
Yeah.
these are gorgeous
Yeah,
pictures.
the pictures are good. Yep.
I mean, you should submit those to National
I'm
Geographic.
telling you.
There's a lot of people submit pictures.
Yes,
This is such an easy place to take pictures.
Yeah.
it's
Well,
We had a
beautiful.
cruise ship came into port yesterday,
Oh, wow.
our Carnival Cruise Line, and that's always a big hit when they show up. They come in the morning, they leave about 4 in the afternoon, and all the vendors downtown, they set up like flea markets in a little park there where the ship docks.
Nice.
So they offer all sorts of stuff, and people are walking around. I knew the boat was in port the minute we got up out of the water yesterday. We're up at the north end, and the tour buses, 2 of them, back to back, and golf carts came
My
by. All
gosh.
these people gawking.
Wow. Well, we just had a guest come into the studio, Colonel
Who's that?
Thomas.
Good morning.
Can
Colonel.
you hear him? Oh, wait, I got to
Yeah,
keep his
I heard
mic.
the background.
Wait a minute. Okay, go ahead.
Good morning.
Did you hear him?
I did.
Oh, you might
Sounds
have
like
to
he's
get
kinda hollow
closer.
there.
Yeah.
Got the right mic fired up.
Yes, I do. He was sitting back.
Colonel is Rayford. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. How you doing this morning?
Well, getting ready to do a couple more dives today down here in Bon Air.
I don't even want to hear it.
He's like, no, we don't want to hear it. We all wish we were there.
I'm sure it's beautiful
Well,
down there.
Yeah, he's come in today to talk about school bus safeties and safety at the bus stop and school safety, everything all the way around. So we thought it was time because school starts next week.
Mhm.
I drove a school bus for about 18 months when I was in high school. So safety is very important. Kids get very excited. And you got to watch out for them because they'll run helter skelter.
Yes, they're so excited to get on that bus and they'll just run right out into the street. So
Mhm.
we need to keep a watch on 'em. And that school bus stop right there in front of Jacksonville High School still freaks me out every time I go through it because I'm just like, I don't know if you've ever been through it. Have you been through it, Kelly? I'm just like staring at it, waiting. I'm looking to see if anybody's near it. I just know that thing's going to go off about the time I get there and I'm going to mess up or something.
Yep.
But I'm glad it's there. It's very important.
All right. Well, you ladies have a good day.
You
Carl,
too.
Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Have a safe trip.
Thank you. You too. I'll talk to you
All
later.
right. Bye, Rayford. And there you go.
Yeah, all is well now. I have my cord.
Yes.
So my computer won't die now. Yay. Yeah. Yay.
Yeah, that was a quick trip to the parking lot.
Yep.
Oh,
So
good. I'm glad you're
all
up
is
and running.
well. Yep. So
Yeah,
that's
and in
good.
the studio this morning, for those listening, we have Colonel Chris Thomas
We do.
with the Onslow County Sheriff's
Mhm.
Office with us. And he's also our newly elected sheriff, which you would take office, is it December?
December 1st.
December
5th,
1st.
Oh,
actually.
5th.
December
Okay.
5th.
This first
Right, we're
Monday
all
in
going to be
December.
there
Oh, first
cheering
Monday.
you
Okay.
on.
Okay.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We're excited.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had an outstanding sheriff now for the past 2 terms, and
We have.
he's leaving it in very good hands.
Mhm.
So kudos to the sheriff's office for all that you all do.
I
Well, they're
appreciate
busy.
I
that.
know it's a hard job
Mhm.
dealing with so many crazy people. Anyway, so
So let's talk about school safety
Right.
or
Sure.
bus safety, school bus safety. I mean, with drivers, because we hear a lot of things that happen when people are driving, going around the buses
Yeah.
and not stopping. So you start wherever you want to start with
Well,
school
I mean,
safety.
like you said, school starts next week.
Hmm.
Everybody who's commuting to work, folks are always in a hurry to get to work.
They are.
Cutting,
Yes,
it,
they
cutting
are.
the time as close as they can cut it, but
Mhm.
they just need to be aware that the school buses will be back out and they can cause some delays.
Hmm.
And when you come up on a stop bus with its stop sign out, if you're in doubt, stop.
Yeah.
Always pay attention. If it is a 2-lane highway or a 3-lane divided highway,
Okay.
whether you're oncoming or following the bus, you have to stop. Anytime you're following the bus and the stop sign is out, you have to stop.
oh,
The only time that an individual does not have to stop is if 4-lane divided highway and you're oncoming.
Okay. I see what
If
you're
you're
saying.
oncoming, you don't
Yeah.
have to stop because the buses are picking up from the right side of the road
Hmm.
and it's a large divided highway. So they pick up on whichever side they'd be on. That's the direction they're going in.
Okay.
But when in doubt, stop. But the biggest thing is pay attention. Kids, either they're not paying attention or they may very well be excited They may have
Mhm.
their headphones on. They may have had their face buried in their cell phone.
Hmm.
I'm sure many of you have seen folks
Mhm.
walking down the street with their head looked right
Yeah,
straight down,
yeah.
looking at their phone, oblivious to what's around them, and that can happen. And we've had some bad incidences here in Onslow County.
Hmm.
We encourage our deputies that when they see a bus traveling, if they can, for them to follow the bus and keep an eye on what's going on. And we will charge folks for
Oh,
stop and stop school
that's good.
buses.
Yes.
I know in the past, the North Carolina Highway Patrol has done enforcement action to try to keep an eye on that and make sure that the students in the buses are safe. Many of our buses have onboard cameras. So if you do pass a bus and you are stopped and charged by an officer, you can rest assured the officer will try to get the footage from the camera, so they'll have it in court as well.
I think they should all have the cameras personally.
They may have now.
I don't know that they do, but
yeah.
that should be like a mandatory thing, because I have personally witnessed cars go around buses.
Mhm.
I actually saw a near miss where a kid almost got hit. A kid that lived that way running across the street to get
Yep.
to the bus, and the bus arm thing was out. I don't understand what's wrong with people, and I called it. I got the tag and called it in, but people don't realize these kids. You're right. A lot of times, especially the younger ones, they don't pay
Yeah,
attention,
they
and
don't.
they're trying to get to the bus. And I mean, I get it. And the other thing is, when it's foggy or rainy, you
Mhm.
need to be mindful too that a lot of these kids stand very close to the road, or they stand, at stops. Quite a few years, maybe 10 years ago, maybe longer. I remember it was real foggy one day, and someone here in town hit a kid at a bus stop because they couldn't see him because of the fog. I mean, people need to be
Right.
mindful, and
Right.
Yep.
people nowadays just seem to be so oblivious to things. They're just in their own world. They don't pay
Well,
attention to their surroundings.
a lot of drivers have a tendency to want to look at their phone.
Yeah, I
Yes.
know.
On the
Oh, it
phone,
drives me
obviously
nuts.
texting
Yes.
and driving is
And
against the law.
I
It's
see a
very
lot of
unsafe.
them too when they come up upon a school bus and they know that school bus is going to be stopping. It's a race to get around it.
Yes.
And that's where it becomes really dangerous too, because if that school bus driver is slowing down to get ready to stop, like you say, a child may see the bus come running out, and here's a driver behind it trying to race past it
Mhm.
before they put out the stop sign. So
Yeah.
that's
Plus, too, when school's
Yeah.
in and you don't even see a bus on some of these rural roads,
that's
Yeah.
right.
like Kelly was saying, you need to be aware that there are a lot of kids out walking.
That's
Yeah.
right.
They're walking to the bus stops.
Mhm.
They're trying to get where they need to be so they can get on the bus. So you need to be mindful of that as well.
And not to be on your phone, especially the texting or
Right.
whatever. I mean, I
Well,
see
you
all
don't
kinds
need to
of
be
things,
on
but
it
yeah.
at
You
all.
don't need
Yeah.
to be on it at all.
No.
But if you're charged with passing a stop school bus and convicted, it's 5 points on your
Yes,
license.
5 points.
Good.
For
Which is pretty
3
dramatic.
years.
Uh-huh.
Which is pretty dramatic, but
Yes.
that's probably not as dramatic as the impact it will have on your car insurance.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Because they will know that, the insurance companies will, and they
Yep.
will adjust your rate.
That's right.
What they
Just
feel is
about
according.
double too.
Well, I think that's awesome. I'm glad they do that, actually.
Right.
So
Yeah.
good.
Well, what advice can you give parents for their children going out and standing at the school bus? Because some of these children have to walk, down to the end of the street to catch the bus, and lots of times it's still dark out. Of
It
course,
is
the
dark.
time changes in November,
Yeah.
and right now with the shortage of school bus drivers, they're going to be starting super early and
Mhm.
running quite a while during the morning.
They are. They need to be aware to wear light colored clothing when they can, or wear something that's light colored,
Right.
so folks can see them a little bit easier, particularly if there are those that have to walk to the bus stop in the dark. But the kids need to be advised to keep a look at their surroundings. I mean, you need to be aware of people creeping.
Yeah,
Quite
I agree.
frankly,
Yeah,
yeah.
around
Right.
and don't be talking to folks that they don't know.
Right.
Go to the bus stop and stay there, and just be alert. Keep your head out of their phone.
Yes.
They can
keep
get
the head
back on
out
their
of
phone
phone.
once they get their seat on the bus.
I feel
but
like I
as
just
far as-
need
I
to put
think
mine
too,
away.
I just think too, parents that maybe parents in a neighborhood, because a lot of neighborhoods do have like there's one bus stop in that
Right.
neighborhood, and I think the parents ought to band together and do a schedule. Like one parent 1 week has all the kids, and next parent this,
Right.
where there's someone's watching,
Be a
especially
guard
because there are a
at
lot
the-
of creepos out
Yeah.
there.
Be a guard at the bus stop.
Oddly enough, I see that kind of more often
Mm-hmm.
than I think I used to see it.
Mhm.
That I'll see a parent drop their kid off and wait at the bus, but they'll sit there and wait till the child gets on the bus and goes. So they most parents do try to keep an eye, but you do have those parents that
Some don't. It makes me sad. And then
Yeah.
the other thing that I don't know, this is just me, and I do think this is me. It bugs me. It'll be very cold in the winter,
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
kids will be freezing at the bus stop, and the parents sitting in the car. Like it drives me, just that bugs me. Like let your little child sit in there and get warm. Why are you making them sit out there shivering? And it just that bugs me. And I do. I'm thinking of one particular area that I used to see when I would go to my daughter's house in the morning. I would see it, and it drove me nuts. It just bugs the fire out of me to see that. Like, why are you going to be in there in the warm heat
Yeah.
and the little kids stand? Because you can see the bus coming. I mean, little Johnny can stay in the car with you, and maybe pile his little friends in there too. And then as soon as y'all see that bus coming out, let everybody get out. That's just a thing I have.
Well,
So.
you got to think that little Johnny might not want to be in the car with
That's
everybody.
true too. That's true
Might wanna-
too. Some don't, but I would say the ones
Yeah.
that do,
Yeah,
let
they-
them go out
I've
there.
seen in some of the rural areas where the neighborhood has actually got together and built a little shelter
I like that
for the kids
Yes,
to all congregate in.
because it's
keeps them out of
raining. I mean, they have to
element.
be
Get out
out.
of the
Yeah,
rain, get out of the wind.
yeah. I
Right.
You still
agree.
see that occasionally in
Yeah.
rural areas.
Right. And for these parents that are sending their children down to walk down a road to catch up, they might want to put some reflective tape on their backpacks or something,
Mhm.
for those early morning hours. Because I know I've seen buses out as early as 6 o'clock
Oh,
heading out to
same.
pick
Yeah,
up. And
yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Well,
Absolutely.
Those folks that are going to work, though, they need to keep in mind leave an extra 5 or 10
Yes.
minutes early. Might
Excellent
save them
point.
a lot of
Yes.
stress while they're driving and
Yes.
make things a lot safer.
I
Because you
agree.
know what? If you get stopped behind a school bus and then once it starts going and you have the chance to go around it, you've only sat, 2 minutes or something.
Exactly.
And it's not worth it getting
Oh,
out there
yeah.
and driving like a fool.
I never get stopped behind a school bus unless I'm in a hurry.
Yeah.
Exactly
Yeah.
right.
That's the only time I notice it anyway.
Exactly right. So, what's it looking like as far as school safety? I know that Sheriff's Office has been involved in some of the seminars and other things.
We have. I actually myself attended some training on responding to mass incidents that
Right.
occurred at schools. We've done rapid response training, multi-jurisdiction. We did
Mhm.
training this year, including emergency management, the local PDs, the sheriff's office. We went down to Dixon Middle School and did some tactical training as far as responding to it. And we try to do that every year. I actually have a meeting this morning with the sheriff's
Right.
office SROs to ensure they understand what the sheriff expects and what our policy requires for them to do when it comes to responding to something like that. We try to make sure we are prepared as
Mhm.
best possible. We have a lot of duties that we have to
Mhm.
attend to, but that is a very, very important concern of
Mhm.
ours. And we do train that every year, and we try to make it a training with the other our responding partners like the rescue squads and things of that nature. Because
Yes,
if you
good.
have a shooting or you have a mass incident at a school,
Mhm.
it does not matter if it's in a municipality. It doesn't matter if it's out in the middle of the county. It's everybody's going to be responding.
Exactly.
We're going
Yeah.
to
Good.
ask the PDs to respond with us if it's in the
Mhm.
county, and we're going to respond to every school in the county, whether it's
Right.
also in a municipality or not. So we try to make sure we train together so everybody has an idea of what they're going to do. The state has a lesson plan they put out, and I believe they're updating it this year to try to keep up with the things that are seen across the country.
Mhm.
So we do respond directly, and I'll show you our policy is to respond immediately
Right.
and directly to try
Not
to
stand in the
eliminate.
hallway.
This
Or
will
take
be
care of
like
the threat.
Uvalde. Yeah. No,
Yes.
I have no doubt. Onslow County would never.
Onslow County go
It
in
would-
kicking doors down.
Yeah, it would not be like what happened in Texas.
Right.
Guaranteed.
Right.
So, yeah.
And we expect that direct response.
Mhm.
And we have some really good SROs.
Mhm.
You have to be more than just a beginning officer to be an SRO.
Agreed.
It's state
Yeah.
requirements. You can't have a probationary certification.
Mhm.
You got to have a general certification to even apply to be one, and you have to attend an SRO school, which gives them some basics on it.
Right.
So it's generally that.
That's
Now,
good,
do you
though.
have SROs in the schools that are in the city limits?
Well, it depends. The city of Jacksonville takes care of the schools that's
Mhm.
within the city of Jacksonville, but all the other schools in the county, regardless if they're in a municipality or
Right.
not, we take care of. Hopefully by mid-year this year, we will actually have an SRO in every school.
I know. I
in
remember
Onslow
y'all went
County.
to the commissioners to request that, right?
Well, we
And they
did.
did
We
approve it.
Well, we renewed our contract,
Right.
but we're working with the school, and the school is working to get funding to provide SROs
That's
for
good.
Good.
the elementary schools that don't have a full-time SRO.
Right.
Mhm.
Every school has an SRO. Some of the elementary schools are divided with one SRO. We'll have two, and he'll bounce back
That's
between
awesome.
them to try to make
Heck
sure there's
yeah.
a presence. But hopefully by mid-year, there'll be one in every school full-time.
Well, this is
Okay.
a question.
Well, do not. Yep. Nope. Let's take a break.
Oh, yeah.
We're live and local real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back. And if you have any questions for Colonel Chris Thomas of the Onslow County Sheriff's Office, give us a call, 910-333-0139. We'll be right back after this commercial break. And we are back, and in the studio, we have Colonel Chris Thomas with Onslow County Sheriff's Office. I'm here to talk about, we're actually talking about school safety and school bus safety with school starting next week. So,
Right,
Oh,
right.
Lee, you had a question?
I
and-
do
yeah,
have a
okay.
question. This is probably a twofold question, which Kelly and Chris could probably both answer. What advice would you give parents in teaching their children if like something was to break out at one of the schools? What should you be telling your children in advance on how to react, what to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, one, lock the doors, barricade the doors, hide,
Right.
try to get out of line of sight, that kind of thing. Try to find if you're not in a classroom, try to get into a classroom where there's a teacher
Right.
and they are trained as well on things to do from their side. But that would be my quickest advice. Opportunity to get away, run, flee, do that if they can. And if an incident has happened, particularly if you're a middle school or high schooler that's kind of more of an adult size.
Right.
If something's going on at the school and you're trying to flee out the school and law enforcement has responded, make sure you keep your hands up or they can see that that you're or someone trying to get away and not the perpetrator, or help us identify you, things of that nature.
That's good advice. Now, I have any of the teachers here in Onslow County been involved in any type of training?
I'd have to refer to the school board for that. I know we have conversations with them. We do risk assessments at the different schools. We've actually had our response, our SWAT commander, our tactical commander, go to a couple of our neighboring counties and also to help them with their risk assessments of their buildings. But I'd have to refer to the schools on what the teachers have been taught. I know it's a topic they cover, but I don't know what degree it is.
Now, I know it got brought up before. I was in a meeting when someone asked this, but at sporting events, which is a big deal around here, law enforcement is normally, there is a presence at the sporting events locally, correct?
Yeah, if it's school related, there generally is always one there.
Okay.
Generally two.
Yeah.
If it's a rival game or something like that, a big
there'll be
football
more.
game,
Bring in the
we'll
troops,
have more
right?
there. And,
White Oak, Jacksonville.
try to make sure everybody has a good time. Everybody
Right.
doesn't, whoever loses doesn't get too angry and nothing starts in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have a presence at those.
Okay, I know that will make parents feel better,
Oh, yeah.
and which is a good thing. The SROs that are in these schools, they for a lot of times people want to know what exactly do they do. So can you tell people? I mean, I know what they do, but there's a lot of people that don't. Because I had somebody ask me, "What does an SRO actually do?" Because somebody said, "Well, I just think they just sit in there at a desk and they don't do anything all day, and they're there." But that's not what happens.
No, they have patterns that they do during the day. They go to the areas where there are a lot of high volume of students, like the cafeteria. They're supposed to be in those areas during class changes. When people are in class, they patrol the school, make sure people that are there are supposed to be there. Their number one priority is safety of the school.
Correct.
That's the number one priority. But we also encourage them to do interaction with the kids, try to build that relationship between law enforcement and young people, which suffers this day and age. And they do well at that. That's a big benefit for us to try to bridge that gap. That sometimes society tries to put between law enforcement or between the youth and law enforcement. They are not there to enforce school rules.
No, they're there to enforce the law.
We're there to enforce the laws of the state of North Carolina and ensure they have a safe environment. So.
Yeah. And one of the things that people may or may not know is that they also do is especially at the high school level, but even at the middle school level, but definitely at the high school level, a lot of times, these kids, when they get in fights, they can be charged. I mean, this could result in assault charges. And one of the things that SROs do oftentimes is they refer to our the Onslow County Teen Court Program. And that's a good program because what it does is keeps the kids out of the court system per se and diverts the lower level stuff to where they're peer sanctioned and peer punished basically. But that also helps maybe turn a kid around, so to speak, to keep them from escalating where they all of a sudden they're always getting charged and burdening the court system. And and the SROs are really good about that, which I commend them for.
Well, there's some topics which, we're going
Some
to
things,
charge.
yeah, no matter what,
If
absolutely,
if
yeah.
it's an assault,
Yeah.
we're going to charge for that. We're going to go to the Department of Juvenile Justice and try to
Right.
pursue that.
Right.
But given an opportunity to divert to a teen court or something for some minor
Mhm.
incident, we would encourage that.
I think we have a caller. Good morning, caller. Who's this?
I think you do. This is Royce. How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
morning.
Hey, Royce.
Hey, good. Good morning, Chris. I had a question for you real quick, Chris. I appreciate what you guys do to keep our public schools secured, but I'm wondering how much contact do you have with our private schools? Are you able to work with them on security issues too?
We've actually had one of the larger private schools here ask us for security at their school. Strict security, not the full SRO response that we have. And we have worked out something for them. However, that is not at taxpayer expense. That is that the school is paying for that themselves. And we're filling that request with off-duty deputies who want to work extra, and we let them go and do that. So yes, we do. That particular school was trying to figure out how to get an SRO full time, but that because it is a private school, they would feel that cost themselves.
Right.
Well, I'm glad they're doing it,
Sure.
though. Good on them.
Yeah, I am
Heck
too.
yeah.
Very much, very much.
Awesome.
That's good to know. Well,
Yeah.
great
Okay.
information.
Well, I appreciate it. Do you reach out to the schools and offer your help, or do they need to reach out to you?
Generally, they reach out to us. There's a lot of private schools or institutions around those, so we
Mhm.
generally let them reach out to us.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
All right. Well, thanks for the information.
Yes, sir.
We'll hope to see you Saturday.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep, he's got it. He's
I
got a
there's
flyer right in front
flyer
of
right
him.
in front
He's got
of
right
him.
in
Gee, I
front of
wonder
him,
how it got there.
I don't know how that could have gotten there.
Yes.
All right. Y'all have a
Well,
good
thank
day.
you.
You too,
Thanks.
Royce. That's a good
That was
question.
that was Commissioner Royce Bennett. That was a
Yes.
very good question.
Yes.
And I didn't even think about that, but I'm glad that they are reaching out, and I'm sure they have avenues for funding that which people don't
They-
think about that, but there is a
Right.
need. I'm
Right.
100% for it.
They do. The private schools within, like the city of Jacksonville, we would encourage them to reach out to the city,
Yeah, yeah.
to the Jacksonville Police Department.
Yeah.
However, like I say, we do have one part-time gig that off-duty provides security at one of the private schools.
I know which one you're
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
So yeah,
And it's
yeah.
pretty large private
It
school,
is,
and it's
yeah.
getting bigger.
It is getting
every
a
year.
lot bigger. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But I
Hey.
mean, I never thought about that till you said, but
Yeah.
there's a need. Yeah.
Right. Well, we know you have to go because you
I
have a
do.
meeting. Any final words on school starting Monday? And
Well, if parents just talk to your children, let them know how to be safe or the things they need to do when they come to the bus to make sure they're safe until they get on the bus anyway, away from traffic, and stay vigilant and pay attention to what your kids are doing.
good advice.
Yep. I
I
agree.
hope-
Well, thanks for coming
Hope you-
in.
Take
yes,
care.
thank you so much. Have a great day, and
All right.
we hope to see you soon.
All right, we'll go
Okay.
ahead and take our break. We're live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back with the weather. And we are back. And it's time to do some quick weather because we do have a caller on the line. So take it
Right.
away, Lee.
Let's
Take
go
it
ahead and do
away.
the marine forecast
Yes.
first. Brought to you by Tideline Marine. Did you know that ethanol poisons your boat motor? And marine mechanics will tell you about the horror stories of this stuff. Tideline Marine has ethanol-free gas at the dock. Just pull in and fill up. The ship's store carries fishing tackle, odds and ends for your boat, and equipment that is meant to keep you safe and legal on the water. And don't forget, Tideline has a huge sale going on this month through the 31st. Located on the banks of the New River at 159 Old Bridge Street in downtown Jacksonville, Tideline Marine is your one-stop shop for your boating needs. Today, north winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming east this afternoon. Seas 2 to 3 feet, dominant period 4 seconds. Friday, north winds around 5 knots, becoming southeast in the afternoon. Seas around 3 feet, dominant period 4 seconds. And go ahead.
Today, mostly cloudy, high of 87. I almost read the wrong
I know, I
wrong
was like
days. I'm
missing
like, hold up.
part of mine.
Because it's jumping around here. What's happening with this weather? Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 71. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high of 85. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low of 70. And then Saturday, finally, partly sunny, of high of 86.
Nice.
That's what hesitated because today was supposed to be mostly sunny, but now it's mostly cloudy. So
Well,
something's
it-
happened.
As
Yeah.
it changes every day. I know I was reading mine, and when I went down to
Yeah,
look
it
for
changed.
Saturday,
Yeah.
Saturday had
It
disappeared.
jumped.
And
Yeah,
I'm
this
like,
jumped. It like threw me off.
it's okay. We're good.
Okay, we have a caller. Good morning, caller. Who is this?
It's Doug. Lee, that was a great weather report. I like the way you do that. You know, if you listen to the show, Lee just said the word knots when she was explaining the conditions off the coast. If you listen to Rayford do that, he adds the word seas to it, and it sounds like he says 10 to 15 Nazis are off our coast. So you just saying knots is the way it should be done going forward.
Well, you must have missed the morning that I messed up on knots. And so every morning when I go to read it, I have to take my time because I just want to start laughing. So,
How did you mess up?
well, we're not going to go
I'll
into
tell
it.
you. I'll message you Doug, and tell you what she said because it was hilarious.
Yeah, I
Oh,
just
it's something you don't want to. Oh, okay.
it
All
just
right. I
kinda
think I know
came
what it
out,
was.
but I just kept on going. And of course,
We
my-
never let her live that down.
my
now.
little brother
Okay.
Robin had to call me right away, and he's laughed at me ever since. So,
Mhm.
you know, I tried. I told Kelly the other day. She said, "No, I'm going to laugh every time you give the weather."
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing, but it's still better. I think I know what you said, and it's still better than having Nazis off your coast.
That's true
Let's
too.
not have-
Yep, I hear you. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm calling today because I'm very proud in the last 24 hours to be a member of the Democratic Party, and I have to brag on what's happened. This president, who I think is turning out to be a transformational president, this college forgiveness program, it makes me very proud to be a part of this establishment and to be rooting for these folks. If you look back in history, at the last two Republican presidents, George W. Bush, who I liked as a person, I wouldn't mind sitting down and having a conversation with him, but his policies were to bail out banks after making ridiculous mortgage things, and to bail out the automotive industry. If you remember the Trump administration, the only major legislation they got passed was the Pat Ryan tax cut, which was $2 trillion benefits to the wealthy. And here are the Democrats saying, listen, if it's okay to bail out corporations and to bail out the rich, why isn't it okay to bail out these kids just getting started out? And I think I'm very proud to be a member of this party. I'm very proud to be a member of a party that cares about the little guy and not just corporations. And thank you, President Biden.
Okay.
Yeah, I know this. I know that this has sparked a whole lot of debate amongst people. So I see both sides of it, and I don't really honestly. One of the few times I don't have much of an opinion on it, which is very odd for me. But I mean, a lot of people are for it, and a whole lot of people are against it. So I think there's probably a 50-50 divide if I had to guess.
Well, and this nation is split, so those percentages are probably right on the nose, but it shouldn't be 50-50. When my father graduated high school, growing up in Michigan, he could walk out with his diploma, leave the stage with the cap and gown still on, and go into some factory and find a job that was going to pay him very well, and he'd be set for life. We all know that a high school diploma is not going to cut it anymore. That's not to say that folks who don't have a college degree haven't gone on to do very well, but it's not what it was, and it's much harder now. And I think if that's the reality, if we have created a global free trade society where a lot of the manufacturing jobs have left to other areas, and the notion was that we would keep the more high tech jobs here. Well, if that's the notion, that means college becomes more and more important. And if that's the economy we're going to have, then we really need to say that these state public funded schools should be free. Clearly, in my opinion, let's start with community colleges, make those free to the public. If high school can be free, why can't 2 years of college be free? Folks are going to need this if our economy is continuing to grow. And that's not what Joe Biden did yesterday. He didn't make college free. He's just saying, you went to college to try to better yourself, to try to be a better citizen, to be part of this economy, and to help our country grow. And you should not have to come out of that paying that off for the rest of your life. So I'm very proud. So I've also, here's another thing, and Kelly, you will have an opinion on. California today will be deciding if they want to ban all gasoline vehicles by 2035.
Right.
Yep.
And I 10-1 think the government system in California will vote to do that, but most of the people, I know a lot of people that live there, they're not for it. But I mean, I don't know if these people that they just don't vote or what's happening, because there is a huge divide between those running the government
Right.
there and those that live there. There's a huge divide.
It's probably going to be 2035 before I get this new truck paid off.
Yeah, I think I find it hard to believe they'll wait that long. I think I give them 3 years and they'll have gas vehicles banned. That's just my opinion, though.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I am not an environmentalist. There are
Well,
folks
I'm not
of my
either.
party
No.
who are.
Mhm.
But I think this is a good move, not for the environment, but simply out of foreign policy. We have let since I'm old enough to remember gas lines. I remember of them during the Carter administration, not in the early 70s, but in the later 70s, when you couldn't buy gas unless you had an odd number thing on your license plate. You had to flip and flop every single day. And for years, decades, we have become subject to the whims of OPEC. And what happens when gas prices go up, the whole economy just sluggishes down. And so from simply a foreign policy thing, why would we empower our adversaries? If we go to something that doesn't give leverage to the Middle East, and that to me makes sense. To me, that just makes common sense what they're doing. And I hope it doesn't take until 2035.
Well, hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break. Just hold that thought, because I have a question for you. We're live in local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back. And we are back, and on the line we have Doug, who Rafer refers to as our lovable liberal. Um, and,
And Kelly just refers to me as the hot liberal.
oh yeah, that's what yeah, with an amazing pup.
Yes.
Yes, named Littlefoot, and don't say it.
Well, we've
Um,
got some.
We had
people-
somebody call in with a question, but
Right.
I know because we've only got 2 minutes till the break, I've got a question for you.
Sure.
Are you only for, like, in other words, would you like to see the country go strictly to all electric vehicles, or do you not care either way? I'm curious.
Well, again, this is not my wheelhouse, so to speak.
Yeah.
And but it's funny we're talking about this because my tags are going to expire at the end of this month. I have a gas-driven vehicle, and if it doesn't pass inspection, I'm going to have to get a new car. So I've been thinking, with gas being what it is, to get a hybrid or something like that. My understanding and my research is there's issues with the batteries of these hybrids. They work perfectly well, but when you need to replace a battery,
Yeah.
it can be very expensive, like $5,000, and it's
And
like one of
more.
those things of
Yeah.
Now that's not. These batteries don't go out like the battery in your car, where maybe you're replacing them every other year. These tend to last 10, 15 years or so. But still, $5,000. If you're buying a used one that's already 5 or 6 years old, obviously, you don't have that much time. So
Right.
I'm not sure that we're there with the technology to go strictly electric. So, but I think if I had a magic wand and if we could get there eventually, and I say this as somebody who grew up in Detroit, yeah, there's going to be a time here where eventually we will be have all electric cars that probably will drive themselves.
Well, you might. Well, some cars already do, the little Tesla
Yep.
cars, but who can afford those? Yeah. So okay. So stay on the line. We got our 60-second Fox News break is coming up right now because we had a listener call Lee, and they have a question posed directly.
I know
to
what
you.
that question is, and I am not married. So tell them they're tough.
All right, hold on, hold that thought. We're live in Local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1. We have our Fox News break coming up. It's 60 seconds, and then we're going to hit Doug with this question from a listener. We'll be right back. And we are back, and on the line we have Doug. And Doug, we have Lee has a question she's going to read to you from a listener.
Yes,
So-
actually, I have two. I'm going to
Oh,
combine them together. Okay, why did Biden empower our enemies by making us dependent on them instead of keeping us energy independent? And why not give us back our own oil production, our own production of oil?
Okay, say the first part first.
Okay,
Yeah.
first part first. Okay, I try to do it. Why did Biden empower our enemies by making us dependent on them instead of keeping us energy independent?
I think what they're asking is, and why did he take away like the pipeline and whatever, so that we could kind of produce our own
Right.
thing and make us dependent.
Right.
That's how I read that question.
Yes.
Well, I don't think it's a commodity. So like any commodity, it's going to be traded. Oil is traded on the open market. And so the notion that this person seems to have is that if you're pumping oil out of Alaska or out of Texas, that oil is going to strictly to be used in the United States. Well, if you are a conservative and you believe in the rights of a business person, ask an oil man if that's what they want. Ask a guy in Texas who's drilling right now if he wants this oil to be used strictly in the United States, and he'll tell you, heck no, that'll devalue my product. So these oil people, it's in their self-interest to trade it on a world market. So you have this organization called OPEC that trades just like, you can see the future price of oil. You know, if you follow the markets, you can see what it's doing. So this has nothing to do with Biden. This has been the way the system has been set up since the early 1970s. It used to be that the large American oil companies went in to the Middle East. They're the ones that got the oil production in Saudi Arabia going, and they owned it, and they could control it. But eventually, these folks in the Middle East, and maybe rightfully so, said, why are Americans controlling the price of our natural resource? So they kind of kicked the Americans out, and then we started this OPEC organization, which gave them the ability to have control over their natural resources. So we're in this big pool. Oil is in this big pool. So it is not, whoever asked that question believes that if it's produced here, it stays here. It does not. In theory, it's traded and can go. The oil produced here goes all over the place, and that's exactly how, that's the only way that drillers and providers can function and profit.
Well, that
Did that
brings
make any
in,
sense?
right,
Yeah.
somewhat, but that brings in the other question: why not give us back our own production of oil? I mean, he shut down the pipelines. Why?
Because he
Well-
doesn't want any oil. He wants to go all electric. So yeah, in my
There
opinion.
you go.
There is some truth to that. There's a variety of other reasons why to shut down the pipeline, not the least of which is the oil is running through Native American reservations, and these are folks who are saying, wait a minute, why are you running this? You saw in North or South Dakota a couple of years ago that huge controversy where the folks who own this reservation were complaining that, you know, that they were being taken advantage of. So we were taking control of their sovereignty. There's a variety of reasons to shut down the pipeline. But again, even with the pipeline, you're living in a fantasy world if you believe that American oil is going to be enough to sustain this country. It just simply is not. I mean, most of the oil that we run.
If we're producing our own oil, we can get it at much cheaper prices for the American people.
Yeah, but we're not producing all of our own oil. I would agree with you if 100% of all of the oil that we use on a daily basis were coming from America. Even if all of the oil we used on a daily basis came from here, we would still have to go in and get oil from Canada, and to get oil, which is Canada is the biggest supplier of our daily oil supplies. But we would still have to go in and buy oil on the open market. And what would happen is, if once you did that, and once the oil coming in from foreign governments or foreign countries were being purchased at a higher price, and we were getting what you would end up doing is knocking out the American oil person. No one would be drilling. What he's really talking about is socializing the oil industry. That's he's talking about this, and if you're an American producer, let's keep it in the United States. If you're producing it in Alaska, don't you dare sell it anywhere else. That's got to go on a pipeline and go through us. That's socialism.
Well,
Why does that?
I look at it as taking care of the people first, but that's how I look at that. So,
But again, it's not the government's oil. It belongs to Shell. I have invested in a company called Energy 88. It's a penny stock. I found out about it. I said, oh, this is going to take off.
mhm.
This is a company that has found an untapped well in Alaska. And seriously, you can buy stock on this for less than a penny a share. So I said, oh, this is a no-brainer. I'll just, if I lose money, how much am I going to lose? So I took a couple $100 and literally bought like 200,000 shares of this company. Well, here's the thing. They have tested, they have seen it. Yes, there is oil there. But that's nothing. This company has to now get the oil out. So who's paying to get the oil out? They've got to come up with the money. And that's why the stock is so low, is because it's a huge investment to get the oil out. So once this company does figure out how to get it out of the ground, they should be able to say, listen, we have the right to trade this oil all over the world, so we can regain our investment, and so that, you know, it makes it worth our time and our while. What you are arguing, and what this guy or woman asking the question is arguing, is, well, if they do get it out of the ground, why should it go anywhere else? It should stay in America. Well, then then it's not going to be worth them to produce it. They're just not going to do it. They're not going to make any money off of it.
Right.
And the oil will stay there.
Well,
So you got to let people. It's not the government drilling; it's private companies drilling. Finding and getting oil out of the ground is a very, very expensive product. And once you do that, you have the right to sell it to whoever you can to make your money back, and then more so. And what they're talking about is capping that businessman's ability to make money. It does not sound like a very conservative approach.
all right. then.
But again, I want to say this. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. This is not
I dozed
my
off a couple
area of
times.
expertise. I have read, I've seen some documentaries. I know a little bit enough to be dangerous, but this is not my area of expertise. And overall, I don't think, if you were going to invest today, if I said, here's $1,000, you can invest in the Ford Motor Company, or you can invest in Tesla or another electronic vehicle, and you have to hold the stock for 20 years, where are you going to put your money? We all know that 20 years from now, there will be more electronic vehicles on the road than there are today.
Yeah.
And we know maybe around that time, maybe electric vehicles outnumber gas guzzling machines. And that's just where we're going. And I don't think that's necessarily a liberal thing for me to say. I just think that's where we're going. And I think we can all see the writing on the wall.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
it does.
But-
I
Well,
just don't see us going total electric. And
Well, I hope
think,
not, but that's
I
my
think
thing.
California would be crazy if they voted that in.
I think they will, but the
I'm telling you,
people
we
don't
need to
want
build a
it.
wall around
Yeah,
North Carolina.
Well, but the big issue is California, with how many millions of people live there. If they make this announcement and say, yes, we're going to do this by 2035, that means all these car companies are going to have to refigure their thing. They're going to have to say, well, wait a minute. Why are we going to produce any gas machines for the rest of the country if we can't, so it's going to, what California does is not going to matter in California. It's going to affect the country, just because it just will. It'll affect everyone.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So watch that space and see what happens over there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
But
all right. Well, thank you very much for calling in.
Yes, Doug. Thank
And-
you.
you guys have a wonderful day.
Yeah. And
right, you
pet
too.
Littlefoot for me.
I will. I will. You guys have a good day.
Okay.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
He has just the cutest little old English
Yes,
sheepdog.
I've seen
Well,
the
he's not
pictures on
little. He
Facebook.
has
He is
the
precious,
biggest
yes.
old English sheepdog.
Yes.
He's so cute. His name is Littlefoot, and Doug likes to torture me by calling him Little Fonda, and y'all know
I
that.
know.
I
Well, when
don't
Rayford
like
was
Jane Fonda.
dog sitting, we had Littlefoot fill out a
Yeah.
voter registration,
Yeah,
and
he's a
Republican, and
absolutely.
he used his doggy print, his
Yep.
doggy paw to sign off on it. So
Yep.
he's now a Republican. So there
we
you go,
have
Doug.
we have a caller. Good morning, caller. Who's this?
This is Drew.
Hey, Drew.
Hey, good morning, Drew.
Hey, I don't want to totally disagree with Doug, but I do. I mean, I just don't see paying off student loans for people. How about the hundreds of million of people that have always paid off their own loans,
I know. I thought that was my
and the
first thought.
and the parents that have done without to put their kids through college.
Mhm.
I put 2 boys through college.
Yeah.
I paid for it. I didn't get it. Do we all get a rebate now?
You
Well,
would think.
I had someone ask yesterday. They said, "Well, this is, you don't go and buy a house and all of a sudden just say, well, I'm just not going to pay my mortgage anymore, and then get to keep the house. Like, that, that I said, well, okay, I see what you're saying. I mean, I get it. And my question is, where is this money coming from?
That's
It's going to come from you and me. That's
I
where
was
it's going
just
to come from.
all this money that we're constantly giving out. Well,
Where,
that the
where
current
is,
administration
yeah.
is like, we're going to give this, we're going to give that. Look at the billions of dollars they're getting ready to earmark to send over to Ukraine. We can't even take care of our own people in
Well,
this
I
country.
agree. Until we can, take care of everything we've got going on here, I don't think we should be sending money anywhere.
I agree with that.
But I also question
And
whether
I,
this is going to make it harder for people to be able to get into college that maybe can't afford it, because I think this is going to make the process a little more difficult, in my opinion.
and what I would love to see the figures on that nobody even talks about is this 44 million people that are paying off their student loans. I'd love to know how many of them don't even have a degree. How many people took out student loans to go to school and party and never finished?
That's true.
I agree.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or how many that went
And
to
so we're
college
gonna pay off now or help pay off their loans that they went away and partied and never even finished with an education. I mean, that's why a lot of them can't pay back their loans, is they never finished, or they got a degree in underwear or basket weaving or something because you couldn't produce enough income to pay for it anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I hear,
Well,
and you're not
I don't know.
wrong.
It just seems like we're spending an awful lot of money lately. And I just
Well,
wonder,
out of all the programs the Democrats have done, I mean, we're talking about, I think we're up to about $6 trillion now.
all they've done
mean-
is spend, and Democrats are famous for wanting to spend money. And I just telling you right now that 10 years from now, 15, our children's children or whatever, they're going to have a tough time.
I don't
This
think it's going
nation's
to wait
so
that
in debt
long.
now.
I mean, they're going to have to start doing something. I mean, eventually the U.S. will default on loans, and then where will we be?
Right.
I don't know. I hope the red wave comes in November.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, they need to get hot on it right now. The Democrats are outspending the Republicans 2-1, and it's just like every day you turn on TV, just like in the state of North Carolina, Sherry Beasley's got commercials on TV every single day, every day. I have yet to see one for Ted Budd. But they're out there. The Democrats are out there. They're promoting their people. They're taking out advertising. They're doing television. They're doing radio. While the Republicans are sitting back, staying quiet. Come on, guys, get out there.
Well, the Democrats just bought 44 million votes yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're doing. These giveaway programs are buying votes.
Right. I mean, they're playing. If you think about it, they're playing a very smart game. Their strategy is right up there. And I'm just saying, Republicans, you need to get up there and start fighting back and start, widen your strategy. Right now, it's just so quiet on the Republican side. And the Democrats are bringing in so much money right now. And this Roe versus Wade decision has really fueled up a lot of Democrats. And I'm telling you, they're going to be showing up at the polls in November. So, wait
and I
see
just
what's
don't
gonna
understand
happen.
where the president gets the authority to unilaterally spend $400 billion.
It's, I don't know. I have a fear that we're going to lose the House, and we're not going to be able to, get the people in there that we think we're going to get in there. So, because the Democrats have really come out strong, and I have to say that for them. They have come out strong.
Yeah.
Lots of money.
Okay, y'all have a good day.
You too, Drew.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're talking about that student loans and what Biden just came out with. Well, the House Republicans were blocked yesterday from criticizing President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan by Facebook. Facebook said that such posts violate community standards. And I'm trying to find out what it says exactly. It's all blocked. Wow. Facebook says our post about paying back loans violates our community standards. Big text at it again. And see, that's what I'm trying to tell you right now. Republicans need to get out and start fighting. They really, really do. I'm trying to see if I can find exactly what they said. That's craziness.
Well, they're just trying to censor. Bottom line.
Right.
That's what it boils down to. It's just censorship.
Yeah,
So,
and that's like Representative Jim Jordan. He brought up the same question that was just posed. What about Americans who already paid off their student loans?
maybe give them like a tax, like a whatever, a one-time tax, incentive somehow. I don't know. I don't know the answer. So I don't, but yeah, I agree. Can't
Yep.
argue it.
It's going to be a widely challenged issue during this November 2022 election.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, people, you need to get out and get busy.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a
Yeah,
break.
I got my weather back together again.
Live and local real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back. And we are back and ready to do some weather.
We certainly are. Hey, did you know that ethanol poisons your boat motor? And marine mechanics will tell you about the horror stories of this stuff. Tideline Marine has ethanol-free gas at the dock. Just pull in and fill up. The ship store carries fishing tackle, odds and ends for your boat, and equipment that is meant to keep you safe and legal on the water. And don't forget, Tideline has a huge sale going on this month through the 31st, located on the banks of the New River at 159 Oak Bridge Street in downtown Jacksonville. Tideline Marine is your one-stop shop for your boating needs. Today, north winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming east this afternoon, seas 2 to 3 feet, dominant period 4 seconds. Friday, north winds around 5 knots, becoming southeast in the afternoon, seas around 3 feet with a dominant period of 4 seconds. And Saturday, north winds around 5 knots, becoming southeast in the afternoon, seas 2 to 3 feet.
Today, mostly cloudy, high of 87. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 71. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high of 85. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low of 70. And on Saturday, partly sunny, high of 86. Not bad.
My goodness gracious. Here's something else I just came across for this area. Surf City Police Department is asking for the community's help to find a person involved in a death investigation. Police are considering the subject, who was caught on camera, to be both armed and dangerous. If you have any information where he might be, contact the Surf City Police Department at 910-328-7711. Police say people should not approach a man but tell officers about his suspicious activity. There is no other information on it. If you go to WITN TV7's website, they do show a picture of the man in question. So, heads up, Surf City.
Well, I found a story that is just almost so mind-blowing. At first, I thought, this is no way this is real. And no, it is. I just did like 4 checks. It came out yesterday afternoon. This is why I think some things should be the same across the board, no matter what state it happens in. All right. A former Fresno, California teacher's aide who had sex with a special needs student will be spared from going to prison and will not have to register as a sex offender.
Yeah.
She faced a maximum of 5 years in prison. Had she been convicted. She was charged with 3 felony counts of unlawful sex with a minor, 1 felony count of oral copulation, and 1 misdemeanor count of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. She agreed to some kind of plea deal, which is no contest to unlawful sex with a minor, and she was given 2 years probation and no jail or prison time, and the rest of the charges were dropped, and she does not have to register as a sex offender. This is the most outrageous thing I've ever heard in my life. I can't. California does some wacky things, but I'm beginning to think this right here may have topped the cake, at least for today. I'm sure there'll be something tomorrow.
Oh, sure.
The judge, good on the judge for saying that the agreement was light treatment, given the seriousness of the charges. She originally met the student in 2015 when he was 16, and she began to tutor him. The student told police she would pick him up from school and take him to her apartment. They would have sex in her bedroom. At some point, his friends would hang out there, and they would smoke pot and drink.
Wow.
The prosecutor, because the judge is like, why would you even agree to this kind of plea deal? So the prosecutor said there were several challenges. The victim didn't want to testify. And apparently they could not find 2 witnesses who they knew were going to corroborate the kid's story. They spoke to the victim and his family. They approved of the plea deal. As a mama, I would not, but that's me. But they did put a criminal protective order in place forbidding her from contacting him. The defense attorney read a statement from her because she was too emotional to read it. And basically she said what they always say, I'm sorry for the harm I've caused and for the emotional trauma she put her family through, especially her children. She's like, I'm in counseling now, so that I will never go down this road again. And even the defense attorney claims, her sentence may seem light because she's not in prison or jail. She and her family have suffered from the criticism of the community. Are you serious right now? If I was that attorney, I wouldn't have said that.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, this is absolutely outrageous.
It is outrageous.
Yes.
It's
I
just
mean,
unreal.
I just can't. But I will say, one good thing did happen in California yesterday.
Oh, do tell.
In the Kobe Bryant trial, the
Yes, I saw
wife,
that,
the
Vanessa.
jury ruled in
Right.
her favor, and they have awarded her $16 million against Los Angeles County for where the deputies had been and other first responders
Were
had been
taking-
distributing photos of the
Yes.
crash site.
And of
Good
the bodies.
for the jury. Yes.
Yes. I mean, they
mean-
were like the on scene or first
Mhm.
responders out there taking pictures of the mutilated bodies and stuff. And I mean, my gosh. And
Yep.
the gentleman, Chris, I can't remember his last name, who
Mhm.
also lost his wife.
He got 10 million.
Yes. He was
No, he got
awarded
15 million. I'm
15
sorry.
million.
She got
Well,
16. He
good
got
for
15.
them.
Absolutely. And now you know full well, I guarantee you the county will
I'm sure they'll
will
appeal it, and
will
they'll
appeal
probably
it, but
try to.
they're not they're gonna lose. I mean, you can't win something like this. I mean, what those officers did was wrong. That
Oh,
I
it was
personally think
wrong.
they should all been fired.
Yeah.
And
It's
good on her
ridiculous.
for sticking. And they kept trying to get her to settle. She wouldn't do
Right.
it. I say kudos to her because she always said this was not about the money. I mean, but good. You have to make people accountable, and I completely agree with that.
Right.
And I mean, this is awesome because I just think that this should have never happened, and it maybe will make the law enforcement in these type of high profile situations, especially in California, when you have something like this happen, to think twice before you go, distributing pictures of a very sensitive. It doesn't
I'm
matter that this
sure-
guy was a famous person. He was
Right.
still a human. He still had
Yes.
families. One of them was his daughter. I mean,
Yes.
this is there's certain things you don't do,
That's
and
right.
this is one of them.
Right. Well, why would you want to take a picture anyway? I mean, that is just as gruesome.
It's gawky.
It's just,
It is.
It
It's
is.
just,
It's gawky.
and it's some of it is, see, look what power I have. I have the ability to see these pictures. The family would never have wanted to see that. And I
No.
say kudos to that other
I
guy.
wouldn't want to see it.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. No.
Who also with her said, we're suing. I mean,
Right.
good.
Good
Yeah.
for them. Good for
And
them.
good for that jury. They deliberated
People
for 4
just,
hours. Yeah.
it's too easy nowadays.
Mhm.
Everything you do, you
Mhm.
have to remember there's consequences, and
Mhm.
there's always somebody out there taking a video or making a video.
Mhm.
It's just, but this is crossing the line.
I agree. It was totally crossing the line. And like I said, they, for, 2 years have been trying to get her to drop this suit, and good for her
Right.
for not,
Right.
for sticking
Yeah,
with
I
it
saw that,
because,
and I think that is a victory right there.
I
for-
agree. 100%.
A victory for those. I got a feel good story
Let's
for
hear
you
it.
right here out of Wallace, North Carolina.
Do it.
It was a simple act caught on a doorbell camera as a teenager stopped to pick up an American flag that had blown down, sparking a very emotional meeting. David Morton is the man who lives at the house where the
Mhm.
flag blew down. He's an
Mhm.
Iraq and Afghanistan war veteran. When he saw the young man stop, pick up his flag and place it back on his porch, he set out on a mission to find him and thank him. It didn't mean anything to Aiden at the time. He was just doing his civic duty, but it meant a lot more than he thought it did, Morton said. You always hear bad things about what people do, but you don't hear about the good things that people do. So it was important for him to show his thanks for what the young man did by recovering that flag. Aiden Mervin, who is 15 years old, was out skateboarding with two of his friends at the time, and he saw the flag on the ground. My dad, my uncle, my aunt, and my great-grandpa were all in the military, and it just means a lot to me when people respect the flag. And if I respect the flag myself, it's the only way I can thank my family. And Wednesday night, the town of Wallace in Duplin County presented the young patriot with the flag that he had returned to the veterans' porch. Morton says he was amazed by the teens' appreciation for those who fought for the flag because it's so rare to come across.
I love that.
I
That
do
is so
too.
awesome.
That
What
kind of
a-
makes me want to tear up.
That is what a good
Yeah.
kid.
Yes.
What a
good kid. Taught
I mean,
well.
I like when you hear these feel good stories about
Yes.
kids like that, because you know what? You don't hear a lot of that. It's always negative.
Right. It give
These
me
kids did this
goosebumps.
and these. Oh, I love it. What a
Yeah.
good kid. And you know what? This kid's going to do a lot of good things in life. You can tell he's got a good head on his shoulders. What a good kid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kudos to that young man.
Mhm.
And showing respect for our American flag. I mean, that's high on my list.
I know it is.
I
Yeah.
have one, and I check it constantly for tatters or tears, and it has a light on it at night, and so mine stays up 24/7. It's
Mhm.
important to me, being the daughter of a Marine veteran.
Mhm.
So take care of the flag. But it was such a good, a feel good story.
I like it.
You
I
just
think
had
it
to
is a
throw
very
one
good
out
feel
every
good.
now and then.
Yes, absolutely. So much
Yes,
gloom and doom out there.
that's
I mean, you
right.
absolutely have to. Yeah.
And Montford
Yeah.
Montford Point Marine Association, it's already started. I
Mhm.
wish I had announced it early. That was my fault. But the Point Marine Association is honoring and recognizing the first Black Marines who enlisted during World War II this morning in Jacksonville. And it's ongoing right now at the Montford Point Marine Memorial in Lejeune Gardens. So
You know what? I'm gonna.
said this year's observance will honor 11 Marines with the Congressional Gold
I
Medal.
love it.
Yes.
I love it.
I tell you, if you've not been to the Beirut Memorial Gardens, you need to go. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, because the Montford Point Memorial's right
yes,
there.
it's right
And
there.
it is pretty.
Yes,
Yes.
it's awesome.
Yes. Yes. Wow.
Oh, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw you over there, just like, what
Because
did you find?
something popped up. It makes my blood boil.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna try to see. I had to let me see if I can get to pull up on here. And this lady's smiling, which makes me even madder.
Well, while you're pulling that up, I was just reading a story about a woman attending a wedding,
Mhm.
and she went up to the dessert bar and decided to forego the brownies. So she went and sliced herself a piece of cake, not even thinking about it. It was the actual wedding cake that the bride and groom had not even gotten to yet.
Mhm.
How embarrassing would that be?
How do you not know?
I don't
how
know.
do you not know what that cake
I
is?
would have
That's
crawled
what I'm
under a
asking.
table
Yeah.
and right out the
Um,
door.
Yeah.
She's made a TikTok thing about it though, and it's gone viral. And she said the bride forgave her. So it was a pretty funny story. I was like, how could you not know it was the wedding cake?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I found it right here.
Winterview. Did you find it?
Yeah. But
Okay.
it's not a good one.
Uh-oh.
Telling you, it makes my
Uh-oh.
my friend lives in Myrtle Beach too, so I'm gonna call her after the show and ask her about this.
Mm-mm.
So there's this daycare worker in Myrtle Beach at the Ocean View Baptist TLC preschool. She was arrested Wednesday morning. Now, once again, there's cameras. So why? But good on it for being cameras. So apparently, she was caught on video surveillance grabbing a one. Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Let me go down there and take care of this lady myself. Grabbing a 1-year-old's arm and pushing his head into a mat multiple times. Nope. This is the second time in less than a week that a Myrtle Beach child care worker has been arrested for improper child care, not at the same facility. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine as a parent? I'm going to tell you
No,
what.
I can't
See, I told
imagine.
you have never been in trouble, never been arrested, knock on wood, and I hope I never will. But there are certain things I will go to jail for. And beating the mess out of somebody that hurts my child or grandchild would be one of them. I'm just going to say that.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, Lord have
Absolutely.
mercy. I cannot fathom that. What is wrong with people? I don't understand. Like, how are you going to hurt a child?
I don't know. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Have you noticed? Be prepared. Next week starts the back to school first day photos on Facebook. And my daughter has been posting photos all week throughout the years. And it's upsetting to me because they're grown now. I want them to still be babies. And every time I see those pictures, I'm like, oh, man. But yeah, next week we'll start the back to school photos. I always love looking at those.
I think they're so cute.
They are.
They are. And these kids are so proud. And
yeah,
because what's hilarious, sometimes you take a first day of school picture and the end of school picture, and they're just, they're just such a contrast. Even with teachers, first day of school picture, end of school picture. Like the teachers look so frazzled, the kids look over it. I mean, this is, unreal. But
Let-
yeah, it's just hilarious.
I
It is
love it.
funny.
I
Yeah,
love it.
I've seen them online before. Like they make
Well,
me laugh.
let me ask you something real quick
Okay.
before we go to break.
Mhm.
When you get in your vehicles at any time, you're
Mhm.
getting ready to get in your vehicle to or do you always kind of take a look at your surroundings in the vehicle? Do
You
you
mean
ever
when I get in the
like when
vehicle?
you get in your vehicle, do you kind of like glance into the back seat as you're getting in?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here's a Rhode Island woman unknowingly drove to her job in Massachusetts this week with a partially naked and extremely intoxicated man lying on the floor in the back of her vehicle.
How do you not know?
It says, Jose Osorio, a 21-year-old from Providence, has been charged with breaking and entering into a vehicle after the driver, identified by WJAR as Amanda Keene, allegedly discovered him when she arrived early Monday at her Honeydew Donuts job in Houston.
How do you? I mean, he must have been passed out
Oh my
because how do you
God.
not hear movement or whatever? But
Hey,
yeah,
her ride to work was 45 minutes long. Look, I would think that his breathing or
that's what I'm
just his
saying. How
mere
do you not?
presence,
Yeah,
and she even stopped for gas, but she was using headphones to listen to a true crime podcast during the commute. Well, there you go.
I thought using headphones in the car was illegal anyway.
Well, there's a lot of things like, you're not actually supposed to be driving and eating or driving
Yeah,
and putting on your makeup.
well, people do that
There's
too.
motor
But
vehicle
yeah,
laws
yeah.
against that.
But I mean, I think how do you not know? How do you definitely not see somebody? Because when I get in, I put my purse in the, even if I put in the passenger seat,
Oh,
I'm
this
gonna
gets
see
better.
behind me. Oh
She said,
no.
I hear moaning, like a moaning noise. I pause my podcast and I roll my window down because I wanted to check outside. I rolled the window down and I heard it again and I realized it was not coming from outside my truck. It was coming from inside my truck. Now, look, a 45-minute ride with a partially naked man
This
who's
lady is
intoxicated.
dumb as
I think I
rocks.
would have just felt the presence as soon as I got in.
You would because you can sense that kind of thing.
It's
This
crazy.
lady's stupid. I'm sorry, but she is. And I don't call people that very often, but I mean, she is 45 minutes. No way.
Unreal.
And getting gas and you don't know I just can't. But here's the other thing. She's very lucky he didn't wake up if he was out intoxicated
What?
and become combative or grab her or whatever. Oh my
gosh.
word.
That's crazy.
All right, let's take a break. That's
Yeah,
got me
we need a
stressed out.
break.
That's just this lady needs she needs a good talking to. We're live in local real talk on Freedom 97.1 1120 AM WSME. We'll be right back. And we are back. What you got going on over there?
Oh, I was just looking at these different stores coming up on the news here. You know, today marks the 80th anniversary of the enlistment of the First Month Point Marines. I know I was talking about it early, but I didn't realize it was 80th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And I was just reading in Beaufort, let me see if I can bring that story back in Aurora. I hope I said that right. Where they had a explosion at one of their factories on Monday, and
What?
it's still down right now. Here it is, right here. It's the phosphate mine, and it's been shut down since Monday. And the mine safety and administration is out there. It's a major employer in Beaufort County and it remains shut down after an accident Monday. A spokesperson for the Nutrien confirms that its phosphate mine in Aurora is idle as a result of the accident. The company says a structural failure at a phosphate ore conveyor belt and storage container caused several minor injuries. The spokesperson says there was no chemical spill or release, and they're making plans to resume limited operations by the end of this week. The Mine Safety and Health Administration is investigating the accident at the mine. U.S. Labor Department spokesperson would only confirm the ongoing investigation and that there is no other information that we can share at this time. Safety is a core value at Nutrien, and we are investigating this incident in cooperation with the Mine Safety and Health Administration. And Nutrien has owned the mine since 2018, when its former owner, Potash Corp,
Mhm.
merged with Agrium to form the new company.
Hmm.
I didn't even know that we had that out there in Beaufort.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yep.
The things you don't know, you need to get out and travel the
Yeah.
state a little
Yeah.
bit more.
Well, in Raleigh, the Wake County deputy was killed.
Yes.
Ned Bird.
So sad.
Well, apparently his landlord has now been charged with felony breaking and entering.
Are you
Went into his
kidding
house and
me?
stole his weapons.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
he
The landlord has been charged with the theft of guns and other valuables from Deputy Bird's home. Yep, he
You're
went in
kidding me.
and he stole. Yep,
Well, if he makes it down, well, I'm surprised he made it downtown to be
he
charged
stole
with
mountain
it.
bikes and firearms.
I would have beat
And
that
over-
man in the back of the
Over
patrol car.
$10,000 worth of
Wow.
stuff. That makes it a felony. But yeah,
Good
who does
Lord.
that? Like who seriously
That's
does
just
that?
the low of
Yep.
lows.
You got to be some kind of a total dirtbag to do something like that.
Dirtbag? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Huge dirtbag.
Once again, what is wrong with people?
I know it really.
Yeah.
And here's a story that broke in Jacksonville just last night.
Mm-hmm.
Police in Eastern North Carolina are looking for people responsible for several automobile thefts throughout Onslow County. Onslow County Sheriff's Office says on Thursday that a Chevrolet Silverado was stolen from the Ashley Park Apartments off of Country Club Road in Jacksonville. The truck is silver with a black hood. The suspect then used the stolen truck to take an enclosed trailer and motorcycle at Liberty Point Apartments off of Piney Green Road. Several other motorcycles were stolen throughout the Jacksonville city limits. Investigators say a black four-door sedan is also involved in the thefts, and they were asking for help identifying the vehicle or for any information related to the case.
That definitely sounds like a ring, like a theft
Yeah.
ring. Yeah.
I guess they can't get a catalytic converter anymore, so they're just taking
We're
everything.
gonna take it all.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah, they've
Wow.
got pictures. The
They
Onslow
do have
County
the
Sheriff's
pictures,
Office
yeah.
has it posted on their Facebook also.
Yeah.
But yeah, just be
Well,
aware.
I'm sure they'll crack the case.
Well, look, a four-door Chevy Silverado, silver in color with a black hood
Mm-hmm.
is not going to be hard to spot.
Well, they probably abandoned that. They, seems like they stole it to get that trailer and then stole a bunch of motorcycles to put in said trailer. But
That's crazy.
unreal. I can't stand a thief.
I know it.
All right, we've got to take our last commercial break of the morning. So we're live in Local Real Talk. We'll be right back. This is Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. And we are back for our last 5 minutes, roughly, of the morning. What you got over there?
I've got the Johnston County Board of Education voted Wednesday night to censor one of its members and give him an ultimatum to resign. Ronald Johnson was accused of secretly recording board members on 10 occasions, including discussions about administration salaries. There's also a claim that he used his status to try to change a school assignment of 2 special education students. Wednesday, school board members went over the notes from the investigation into the allegations. Sir, you have abused the trust of your office, said board member Terry Sessoms. Based on these reports, you've abused the trust of the people who voted for you. And so they have given Johnson until noon on Friday to resign. Otherwise, the school board will send a drafted letter to the district attorney to have him removed. And he's been serving since 2016. So, wow.
As we know, though, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You have to have the hearing. So Johnson County need to get together and read the rules, because we had it here. You can't, because they're an elected official, you cannot just remove them. The district attorney doesn't have that kind of power.
Well,
So y'all need to read the
that I
rules.
do not know, but here you go. A
There
second
is a
incident.
school. That's why we had here. We
Well,
had
we
to
have one
have
in
that.
Onslow.
In Onslow, they had to have a
Right.
hearing officer. You have to have a hearing, and then the hearing officer makes the
Right.
recommendations, and then you go that way.
And
So,
we're coming up on the 30 days since
Mhm.
the motion hearing.
Yep.
So I'll probably be hearing something soon.
Yep. All right. We have a caller. Good morning, caller. Who's this?
Good morning, it's the Donkey Man this
Well,
morning. Listening
good
to all this
morning. We had-
rigmarole.
Well,
We
good
had
morning.
your
How are
cousin
you?
in here this morning.
Well, yeah, I heard him. He don't want me to call in because the first thing I'm gonna ask him is when's he gonna buy Katie that horse.
Uh-oh.
So he ain't gonna want to hear that.
No.
Yeah, I told her she could. I told her she'd come down there and ride mine. He said, I don't want her to because she may want one. I said, well, she ain't just come down and ride that one. Oh, no. But, oh, Lord, I love picking on him. He's a good feller.
Yes,
I
he's a
swear he's
nice
a good
guy.
feller.
Yes.
And we're very lucky.
What I called, oh, yeah, we are. We are, really are. And what I called about was Doug.
Yeah.
Bless his thick and heart. He don't understand. He's talking about forgiving school debt. Let me say, hey, somebody's got to pay for it.
Yeah.
Somebody, and that's us.
Mhm.
And I keep trying to invigorate. Hey, somebody's got to pay for it. Somebody's got to pay. It's got, and we'll just, Democrat. Well, let's just print more money. Well, the more money you print, you don't have anything to back it with. The money's no good. It ain't worth the paper and the denim it's written on. And I keep trying to tell people that you can't do that.
I
But
agree.
they're going to try it. And then he's talking about the electric cars in 2035 California. We have been talking about electric trucks out here on this highway for a while, and we have not got the answers, and we've looked for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Tesla came out, you can go 550 miles on one charge, okay? 550 miles. Okay, what was the payload?
Yes.
Yeah.
How much?
Makes a difference.
With the truck? Yeah, with the truck and the trailer.
Right.
And the cargo, and your limit is 80,000 pounds. What is the payload? How far are you going to get? Now, when you go past Knoxville, Tennessee on I-40, and you go to Nashville, Tennessee, you go up and down, and I'll give you a better interstate than that, I-64. Kelly, you know all about I-64, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
And you go up and down, and it takes more power to go up than it does to go down, so you're just going to suck that electricity out. Plus your batteries, he gave a quote of $5,000. He's pulling that out of his head because I've already talked about it. The battery's going to cost you $13,000.
Correct. Yes. And
And
yeah.
so that's going to cost. What you going to do? Throw the car away? And that's well, hey, I bought this car for $30,000. I run it for 5 years, and now I got to spend $14,000 to buy a new battery. The best thing to do is just go trade it in and get you another one. Okay, let's do that. Well, when you go in there, that $30,000 car you bought 5 years ago is worth about $5,000 because they got to put a $14,000 battery in it or 12, and then turn around and try to sell that car for $15,000.
Absolutely.
And it may
So that's not
be
going to
paid off
happen.
yet. Yep. No, I agree.
Yeah.
This is not.
And you can't do that. It's not Yeah, it's not feasible, and it's like Steve was talking about. He said he wanted to talk to us one day about the practicality. Electric cars are practical. If you want to run about, you want to go from job to job, or you want to go out on a job, or go back and forth to work, nothing wrong with it. It's great. But to take a trip, and I've already seen them up here at Exit 364 at Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
They pulling in, having to charge up, and they've had to sit there an hour and a half, and you got people in line wanting to charge the vehicle.
No.
Well, you're sitting there going, some of them going to sit there 3 hours waiting to charge.
You're 100% right, and I agree 100%. I mean, this is just a bad idea. I just, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So.
Yeah, well, I had one guy bought a 2500 Chevrolet electric.
Oh
They put a generator. Yeah, put a generator in the back just in case. Hooked his camper up. Yeah, made 83 miles.
Hey, is that
83
a
miles from
gas-powered
his
generator?
83 miles. That's
A gas
insane.
He bought a generator, gas-powered generator in the back, and he can only get 2/3 of a charge on it with the generator.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
So
Well,
he hooked it back to the house.
well, I appreciate you calling because it is 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we gotta go.
We'll see y'all. Y'all be good.
We'll
enjoy
talk
it.
to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
All right. Want to thank everybody for listening. We will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7 a.m. This is Live and Local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. Have a great day.